on as far as Operation Sindoor is concerned, he's congratulated our brave Jawans and saying that the main aim of launching Operation Sindoor was wiping out terror. A great amount of restraint that has also been shown by India, because India as a country never attacked when it comes to civilian facilities, never attacked when it comes to the installations there that had civilians in them. The main focus area was just terror dens and terror training centers, saying that Operation Sindoor was the emotional connect that connected, that joined the entire nation with our forces, and that was the very aim of Operation Sindoor and launching it, because the jawab, the response, the retaliation that had to be given to a terror state like Pakistan, that it will not find even a single space that was safe for even itself once that India decides that it will destroy the terror machinery in the rogue nation. Lieutenant General Mistry, sir, what do you make of the statement by the Raksha Mantri today? Of course, we've been talking about this BrahMos production unit that has now been set up, but militarily speaking, the Air Force has also said that the operation still continues.
Yes, the Raksha Mantri's statement is reiterating the nation's resolve to, impose an unacceptable cost on Pakistan for continuing to sponsor terrorism. And the operation continues. It's going to take a long time to take the foot off the accelerator. The maintenance of vigil has to continue. And that, I'm sure, the forces are doing. The Air Force has only clarified what is already known. But while we have undertaken punitive actions, we are still into it for a long haul if you want to remove terror as an instrument of state policy that Pakistan has been practicing. And that requires a long-term approach. I think the holding in abeyance the Indus Water Treaty is one of the measures that's going to help. But we have to continue our efforts of, isolating Pakistan diplomatically, making sure that it is reinserted into the Financial Action Task Force watch list. It does not get financial aid easily. The future tranches of the IMF should not be made available without any kind of penalty or conditionality, and so on. So it's a multi-pronged, multi-dimensional effort that will have to be persisted with over a period of time.
Yes, sir. But Mr. Brahmachalani, as far as the Home Minister, the Raksha Mantri is concerned, he gave a very important statement saying that no country will be given importance if it does not define itself when it comes to self-sufficiency and making itself self-reliant. Koi uski izzat nahi karega. Nobody will give that much kind of importance to a nation which is not strong in itself. How important does this statement hold?
That's very important, because in international relations, power respects power. Nobody respects the weak. Nobody respects a country that is dependent on imports of basic weapons. So this drive by India to produce most of its weapons domestically is very important for India to become a great power. No great power in history has been dependent on arms imports for its basic security. For decades, India relied on arms imports. Even rifles were being imported. Now we can send spacecraft to the moon. We can do many other things where foreign technology is not available. For example, our missile program. Nobody will sell us top-of-the-line ballistic missile technology or cruise missile technology. But where we can buy weapons, conventional weapons, we were buying and not developing our own capability at home, largely because weapons imports became a source of corruption. It corrupted the entire system in India. So in critical technologies where there were no imports possible because no country would sell those critical technologies, we became self-sufficient in space program, in missile program, in several other emerging and critical technologies. But where there was easy access, easy import access in the conventional weapons domain,
Yes, sir.
there we made ourselves totally dependent on arms imports. Now, in more recent years, we have taken a conscious decision to become self-reliant. And I think that's a very important step in India's emergence as a power in its own right.
Well, absolutely. And we also have a reporter there. I'll just come back to Lieutenant General, sir, taking one comment from Mr. Goel as well, because, sir, as far as the Raksha Mantri's statement is concerned, it is pertinent to note that he has said that India is capable of taking action on both sides of the borders. So India's multi-layered defense system, how it was working, featuring systems like S-400 and even Akash, that ensured that there was comprehensive protection against aerial threats.
This capacity is very important to be able to defend our own national sovereignty and our interests, particularly in a situation like what happened recently, Operation Sindoor, where you have to penetrate deep into the territory where the terrorist camps are. You have no option but to really attack on the other side of the line. So very, very important. And even more important than being able to do so is to sustain that line. Sustainability, and that comes only if you have those products, if you have the technical capacity and the capacity to manufacture that equipment within the country. Because I know from my own experience that in case of an actual war, there are very few countries which are prepared to actually supply you with the weapons and the ammunition unless there is a close relationship between them. And for a country like India, to be independent of those influences is very important. Therefore, I think what the defense minister said, what the Raksha Mantri said, is very, very important and very right.
Well, Rishabh, you know, Raksha Mantri apologized for being late to this program because we saw that he was having these meetings, including with the Prime Minister. The External Affairs Minister was also present. The Tri-Services Chiefs were also present. But speaking of the timing, as far as this new BrahMos production unit is being set up, that only bolsters India's defense sector and also will enhance the country's capabilities when it comes to missile production and will further strengthen national security.
Well, just quoting Rajnath Singh, the defense minister, that BrahMos is not just a weapon, it's a message. It's a message of India that knows how to secure itself, that knows how to keep its own territory effective and how to be effective beyond its territory as well. And in very cryptic way, it has been very subtly told by Government of India that BrahMos was used. BrahMos has inflicted damage to Pakistani Air Force to a point that it will remain a nightmare for them for coming many years. And this timing of inaugurating a new BrahMos setup is very categorically a message that our armory, our defense capabilities are on an upward trend, and come what may, we will respond to any act of war, any act of terror against us with full might. And that we have seen in last 110 hours of Operation Sindoor. 11 bases of air bases, for that matter, of Pakistan were destroyed in 90 minutes. When it comes to Mufasa in Sargoda, Skardu, Rahim Yar Khan, Noor Khan, Sukur, if you talk about Sialkot, talk about Sindh, Karachi, these air bases, 11 such air bases, Lahore's air defense system, Rawalpindi's air defense radar, all these were destroyed, and BrahMos may not be officially being claimed by the Government of India, but it is very clear that these targets
were the backbone of Pakistani military. And this move by India is nothing more than a strategic masterpiece, a masterstroke there, and a subtle message that, as Rishabh is pointing out, what the Raksha Mantri said, that BrahMos is not just a weapon, it's a message of strength. We head into a short.